Okay, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuruntamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Adhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Welcome, Rohini Mataji. So this will be your first session today. So we are discussing structure of the universe. So it is a little complicated, but hopefully it will make sense if you keep attending it. This section of the Srimad Bhagavatam is little complex to understand, but today's section should be okay. There will be so many names because we are discussing the planetary system, the higher planetary system, and today we will be talking about the subterranean heavenly planets, the planets that are there below the Bhumandala. So please stay tuned and don't worry if you don't fully understand it. But if you keep attending it, it will make sense. Okay, so today we'll be discussing chapter 24 entitled The Subterranean Heavenly Planet. So if you're in a position to read, please raise your hand, then I can ask accordingly. So let me go back to the chapter. Take that out, chapter 24. Okay, so let's see who is willing to read. Padma Mataji, first you can read the first 6 verses of this chapter.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji. Text 1. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, some historians, the speakers of the Puranas, say that 10,000 yojanas, which is 80,000 miles below the sun, is a planet known as Rahu, which moves like one of the stars. The presiding deity of that planet, who is the son of Simhika, is the most abominable of all asuras. But although he is completely unfit to assume the position of a demigod or planetary deity, he has achieved that position by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Later, I shall speak further about him. Text 2. The sun globe, which is a source of heat, extends for 10,000 yojanas, which is 80,000 miles. The moon extends for 20,000 yojanas, which is 160,000 miles. And Rahu extends for 30,000 yojanas, which is 240,000 miles. Formerly, when nectar was being distributed, Rahu tried to create dissension between the sun and the moon by interposing himself between them. Rahu is inimical towards both the sun and moon, and therefore he always tries to cover the sunshine and moonshine on the dark moon day and full moon night. Text 3. After hearing from the sun and moon demigods about Rahu's attack, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, engages his disk, known as the Sudarshana Chakra, to protect them. The Sudarshana Chakra is the Lord's most beloved devotee and is favored by the Lord. The intense heat of its effulgence meant for killing non-Vaishnavas is unbearable to Rahu, and he therefore flees in fear of it. During the time Rahu distributes the sun or moon, there occurs what people commonly known as eclipse. Text 4. Below Rahu by 10,000 yojanas, which is 80,000 miles, are the planets known as Siddhaloka, Charanaloka, and Vidyadhara Loka. Text 5. Beneath Vidyadhara Loka, Charanaloka, and Siddhartha Loka is a sky called Antariksha, are the places of enjoyment for the yakshas, rakshasas, pisachas, ghosts, and so on. Antariksha extends as far as the wind blows and the clouds float in the sky. Above this, there is no more air. Text 6. Below the abodes of the yakshas and rakshasas, by a distance of 100 yojanas, which is 800 miles, is the planet Earth. Its upper limits extend as high as swans, hawks, eagles, and similar large birds can fly. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go to our fifth canto, this one here. So we discussed the horizontal structure of the Bhumandala. And how this horizontally it has been divided into 7 islands and 7 oceans. And after discussing the horizontal structure, in the horizontal structure, we know that in the center we have Jambudvipa. In the center of the center is the Sumeru, Mount Sumeru. So we have described the details of each of these islands in detail horizontally. And then we discussed the vertical structure of the universe. We said we discussed sun is around 100,000 yojanas above the earth, and 10,000 100,000 yojanas above the sun is the moon. And then, above the moon, we have constellation and stars. They are rotating. Then we have Venus, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter and Saturn. Then you have the Saptarushi, 7 sages. And above that, above the 7 sages, you have pole star, Dhruva. And above pole star, you have Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. This is the vertical structure beginning from the sun. We focused quite a bit between the sun and the pole star. We did not discuss much about the 4 planetary system above Dhruva. So vertically we focused from sun till Dhruva, pole star. And in the previous chapter, we have seen all the arrangement of all these various planets takes the form of a dolphin. In Sanskrit, it's been mentioned as all are connected to all these stars, everything, all the illuminaries, everything that is being rotated is connected to pole star through a rope made up of wind vayu. And they rotate. You can see here the blue one here hanging. So the various planetary systems, they appear like upside down and dolphin, and this is how we mentioned. This is the shape we mentioned. The tail, far end of the tail is Dhruvaloka, and the various planetary systems we mentioned. It looks like this. Uh, okay, so and today, um, in the first section, the focus is mentioned. Focus is given to what is there between Sun and Earth. Okay, we discussed about Sun, Moon, and all the planetary system like that, right? So Sun, Moon, and then you have constellation and all those things we discussed in detail. And this is a vertical cross section, and it's only one mountain. It is being surrounded. That is called Loka Loka. This extends up to Dhruva Loka. So the sun shine will not pass through this. This is called Aloka Varsha. Behind the Loka Loka is the Aloka Varsha, means it is pitch dark there. So the sun rays, all the light that is being emitted by various stars is restricted within this mountain. And as I said, this extends from the Bhumandala till it goes up until Dhruvaloka pole star. Hmm. So now we'll see what is there between the sun and the um, so from the sun till Dhruvaloka is called Divya Swarga, heaven. It is heaven. So all this place is called heaven. And so now we will discuss a little bit about the place between sun and earth is called Bhuvarloka. This is Swargaloka. From the sun till Dhruvaloka is called Swargaloka or heavenly planet, and from Earth till sun planet, sun planet is called Bhuvarloka. So here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that you can see. Um, this is also one picture there. Um, Below 10,000 yojanas, below the sun planet, we have Rahu. There is a planet called Rahu. And this Rahu also moves like, so we are talking below the sun now. Okay, 10,000 yojanas. One yojana is 8 miles. So 10,000 yojanas below the sun is Rahu. The presiding deity of the planet is Rahu. The planet was always there, but currently it is occupied by Rahu. Rahu is the son of Simphika, and is actually a demon, Asura, um, and is abominable to occupy this post of the presiding deity of this planet. But however, he has achieved this position by the grace of the Lord. We will read a little bit about this. Just bear with me. We will read about this. So, Rahu, it is also mentioned the sun globe extends up to 10,000 yojanas. The and and moon is bigger. It is mentioned 20,000 yojanas. Whereas Rahu is even bigger, 30,000 yojanas. Hmm? They are extended. It's bigger. Rahu is bigger. 30,000 yojanas. It is said Rahu is being inimical towards the sun and the moon, attacks them on the full and dark moon days. So we know the story of, let me go back. Maybe we can read that and discuss. Let me discuss. Padma Mataji, you can actually read from 24 onwards. This is from 8th canto, 9th chapter. This is in relation the demigods and demons churning the milk ocean, and at the end, nectar, amrutam, or nectar came out, and Lord took the form of a beautiful a lady, Mohini, and saying that he would distribute the nectar to the demon demigods equally, but he tricked them. This is that time. This is in connection with that.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. Text 24. Rahu, the demon who causes eclipses of sun and moon, covered himself with the dress of a demigod, and thus entered the assembly of the demigods and drank nectar without being detected by anyone, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The moon and the sun, however, because of permanent animosity towards Rahu, understood the situation. Thus, Rahu was detected. Text 24. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, used his disc, which was sharp like a razor, at once cut off Rahu's head. When Rahu's head was severed from his body, the body being untouched by the nectar could not survive. Text 26. Rahu's head, however, having been touched by the nectar, became immortal. Thus, Lord Brahma accepted Rahu's head as one of the planets. Since Rahu is an eternal enemy of the moon and the sun, he always tries to attack them on the nights of full moon and the dark moon. Text 27. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the best friend and well wisher of the three worlds. Thus, when the demigods had almost finished drinking the nectar, the Lord, in the presence of all demons, disclosed his original form.
Thank you,
Text
Mata.
20. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so so Rahu and Ketu, they disguised themselves as demigods, and uh, you know, and then they also got the little bit nectar, but moon and sun they detected immediately and informed the Lord, and Lord immediately cut off their head, because it did not pass through the neck, it just came to the neck, the nectar. So the head was alive, and it was accepted as one of the planets. Mm. So this is called a dark planet. In the Vedic astrology, it is said that it is this Rahu causes eclipses. So in modern modern science, according to modern science, the solar eclipse means what? When the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, right? But it's not like moon coming. It is Rahu coming. Rahu is preventing the sun rays reaching to the earth globe. That is called solar eclipse. And lunar eclipse is also same, in the sense that Rahu is blocking the rays of the moon reaching to the earth. So that is called lunar eclipse, according to Vedic astrology, as per Srimad Bhagavatam. And let's read, spending a little bit of more time here, but no worries, we can manage. So you can also read the purport to text 3. Padma Mataji. Are you there, Padma Mataji? Okay. If you are there, I can't.
I can't seem to unmute myself. There I have, yes. Thank you, Puppet. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is always the protector of his devotees, who are also known as demigods. The controlling demigods are most obedient to Lord Vishnu, although they also want material sense enjoyment, and that is why they are called demigods or almost godly. Although Rahu attempts to attack both the sun and the moon, they are protected by Lord Vishnu. Being very afraid of Lord Vishnu's chakra, Rahu cannot stay in front of the sun or moon for more than an muhurta, which is 48 minutes. The phenomenon that occurs when Rahu blocks the light of the sun or moon is called an eclipse. The attempt of the scientists of this earth to go to the moon is as demoniac as Rahu's attack. Of course, their attempts will be failures because no one can enter the moon or sun so easily. Like the attack of Rahu, such attempts will certainly be failures. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And it is mentioned, as soon as Rahu, tried to block the rays of the moon or the sun, Lord Vishnu releases his Sudarshana disc, and the Rahu runs away. So it is said that it never blocks the rays of the sun or moon more than a muhurta, which equates to 48 minutes. Yeah. So that is the longest that Rahu can block according to this purport. Okay, so then we have below Rahu, what we have here. So below 10,000 miles sun, we have 10,000 yojanas. We have Rahu. And it is mentioned below Rahu by 10,000 yojanas. Below Sun by 10,000 yojas, we have Rahu. Below Rahu by 10,000 yojanas, we have planets known as Siddhaloka, Charanaloka, Charanaloka, and Vidyadharaloka. And beneath these three lokas are three planets, Siddhaloka, Charanaloka, Vidyadharaloka. There is a place called Antariksha. And in that Antariksha, we have places for yakshas, rakshasas, demons, and pishachas and ghosts, and so on. They are there. And this is from below the sun till this place Antariksha, it is called Bhurloka. In the Bhurloka, we have Rahu, and below Rahu, we have Vidyadharaloka, Charanaloka, Siddhaloka, and below that, we have Antariksha. In the Antariksha, we have places for yakshas, rakshasas, ghosts, and pichashas, etc. Below these yakshas and rakshas, places for yakshas and rakshasas, 100 yojanas below, that's 800 miles below, is the earth that is mentioned. So with that, we complete the vertical structure of the universe, from the earth till the higher planetary system. Vertical structure has been mentioned. Now, vertical structure above the planet Earth. Now, we will discuss the vertical structure below the Earth, that is subterranean heavenly planets, the lower planets that have been discussed. So, Jisha Mataji, if you can read from text 7 till 15, please.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Text 7. My dear king, beneath this S are 7 other planets known as Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala. I have already explained the situation of the planetary systems of Earth. The width and length of the 7 lower planetary systems are calculated to be exactly the same as those of Earth. In these 7 planetary systems, which are also known as the subterranean heavens, below Surga, there are very beautiful houses, gardens, and places of sense enjoyment, which are even more opulent than those in the higher planets because the demons have a very high standard of sensual pleasure, wealth, and influence. Most of the residents of these planets, who are known as Daityas, Danavas, and Nagas, live as householders. Their wives, children, friends, and society are fully engaged in illusory material happiness. The sense enjoyment of the demigods is sometimes disturbed, but the residents of these planets enjoy life without disturbances. Thus, they are understood to be very attached to illusory happiness. My dear king, in the imitation heavens known as Bilasurga, there is a great demon named Maya Danava, who is an expert artist and architect. He has constructed many brilliantly decorated cities. There are many wonderful houses, walls, gates, assembly houses, temples, yards, and temple compounds, as well as many hotels serving as residential quarters for foreigners. The houses for the leaders of these planets are constructed with the most valuable jewels.
Mataji, you are breaking up. Is not sure why. It is not so clear. Is there a background noise? That
No, Prabhuji.
it's a bit low.
Okay.
Let me increase the volume and see. Yeah, please go ahead and read.
Right. The houses for the leaders of these planets. Is it better, Prabhuji, or?
No, it's not. Maybe we can come back. Maybe others can read
Okay.
from text 9.
Sorry. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Can I try, Prabhu?
Yeah, that is good. Please.
1 second, Prabhu. My dear king, in the imitation heavens, known as Bilsvarga, there is a great demon named Maya Danav, who is an expert artist and architect. He has constructed many brilliantly decorated cities. There are many wonderful houses, walls, gates, assembly houses, temples, yards, and temple compounds, as well as many hotels serving as residential quarters for foreigners. The houses for the leaders of those planets are constructed with most valuable jewels, and they're always crowded with living entities known as Nagas and Asuras, as well as many pigeons, parrots, and similar birds. And in all these, imitation heavenly cities are most beautifully situated and attractively decorated. The parks and gardens in the artificial heavens surpass in beauty those of the upper heavenly planets. The trees in those gardens, embraced by creepers, bend with a heavy burden of twigs with fruits and flowers, and therefore they appear extraordinarily beautiful. That beauty could attract anyone and make his mind fully blossom in the pleasure of sense gratification. There are many lakes and reservoirs with clear, transparent water, agitated by jumping fish, and decorated with many flowers like lilies, puvallias, kahelaras, and blue and red lotuses. Pairs of chakravakas and many other water birds nest in the lakes and always enjoy in a happy mood, making sweet, pleasing vibrations that are very satisfying and conducive to enjoyment of the senses. Since there is no sunshine in these subterranean planets, time is not divided into days and nights, and consequently, fear produced by time does not exist. Many great serpents reside there with gems on their hoods, and the effulgence of these gems dissipates the darkness in all directions.
Yeah, this is one point to remember because they are underneath the earth. I will show you how they are located. the sun rays do not pass through the Earth planetary, Earth planet. So there is no sunshine, but they get the light from these gems on the hoods of various snakes, and that light dissipates the darkness. So there is no night there. It's continuously light there. 13, please.
Since the residents of these planets drink and bathe in juices and elixirs made from wonderful herbs, they are freed from all anxieties and physical diseases. They have no experience of gray hair, wrinkles, or invalidity. Their bodily luster do not fade. Their perspiration does not cause a bad smell, and they are not troubled by fatigue or by lack of energy or enthusiasm due to old age. They live very auspiciously and do not fear death from anything, but death's established time, which is the effulgence of the Sudarshana Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When the Sudarshana disc enters these provinces, the pregnant wives of the demons all have miscarriages due to fear of its effulgence.
Thank you. Thank
My
you,
dear king,
no,
sorry.
thank you, Mataji. We will describe that difference. So let me show the. So come back here. This is the vertical section. So today we discussed between the sun and the planets that are located between the sun and Earth. That is Rahu and other places, such as places for Vidyadhara, Charana, Siddhaloka, and then there are places abodes for Yakshas, Rakshasas, ghosts, Pishachas, etc. They are located between the sun and Earth. That is called Bhuvarloka. So then the planets that are located within the halos of Bhumandala, it says Bhumandala is a single huge solid piece. They are located these subterranean heavenly below Sarga. They are actually incorporated within Bhumandala. Incorporated within Bhumandala. I'll show you a picture like this, but they're fully there. This is just to show that actually, yes, so it's one single unit. Bhumandala is a one single unit, like, these people are like a caveman. These are like caves within the Bhumandala. It's a one solid single piece. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that's why the sun is here. The sun days do not pass through, right? That's what I was mentioning. So this is another picture you can see here. It's a cross section. So all these planets are there within the Bhumandala, below our surface. You have to go quite deep. So it's one single unit, and you can see here it is mentioned. All these small, names, Satala, Vitala, Sutala, they are mentioned here. They are located within Bhumandala, below the surface of Earth. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to mention, the location wise. We will discuss further various other aspects. And it is called Bilaswarga. It is also heaven, but in this place, mainly the demonic, it is mentioned the Naga, snakes, and the Rakshasas, they live here, and they continuously enjoy there, and their enjoyment is never disturbed. But as soon as the Sudarshana Chakra comes, they're all scared of it. So there are also beautiful lakes and other things are mentioned there. Mayadhanava is the architect of demigods is known as Vishwakarma. He does the construction of various building and palaces for the demigods Vishwakarma. Similarly, Mayadanava is the architect for the demons, and he had constructed so many wonderful palaces within these places. Hmm? Um, so I just want to mention here. So they are located like that. And another one I want to show. So you know that in the center of the Bhumandala is just Mount Sumeru. And Mount Sumeru is 100,000 yojanas in height, out of which 84,000 yojanas is above the ground and 16,000 is below the ground. Okay, so below that you have Atala, 10,000 yojanas that goes, and between Atala and Vitala there is a demarcation of 500 yojanas. That is the demarcation. So between each of these planets there is 500 yojanas demarcation, and each of these 7 planets have they occupy the length of 10,000 yojanas, which equates to 80,000 miles. Okay, so that much I can talk about that now. So then we'll go and read the next section, just 2 verses actually, 16 and 17. Talks about Atala, sorry. So who would like to read 16 and 17, please? Yeah, please read, whoever. Is that Purna Mataji?
Hare Krishna, I had raised my hand for a comment and a question, but I can read as well.
Yeah. Question we'll take at the end. Let me have the flow. And
Yeah,
comment
sure.
also will take at the end.
Yeah, sure. Text 16. My dear king, now I shall describe you the lower planetary systems one by one, beginning from Atal. In Atal, there is a demon, the son of Maya Danav, named Bal, who created 96 kinds of mystic power. Some so called yogis and swamis take advantage of this mystic power to cheat people even today. Simply by yawning, the demon Bal created 3 kinds of women, known as Swairini, Kamini, and Umshakali. The Swairinis like to marry men from their own group. The Kaminis marry men from any group. And the Umshachalis, Pushchalis, okay, change husbands one after another. If a man enters the planets of Atal, these women immediately capture him and induce him to drink an intoxicating beverage made with a drug known as hatak, cannabis indica. This intoxicant endows the man with great sexual prowess, of which the women take advantage for enjoyment. A woman will enchant him with attractive glances, intimate words, smiles of love, and then embraces. In this way, she induces him to enjoy sex with her to her full satisfaction. And because of his increased sexual power, the man thinks himself stronger than 10,000 elephants and considers himself most perfect. Indeed, illusioned and intoxicated by false pride, he thinks himself God, ignoring impending death. Text 17. The next planet below Atal is Vital, wherein Lord Shiva, who is known as the master of gold mines, lives with his personal associates, the ghosts and similar living entities. Lord Shiva, as the progenitor, engages in sex with Bhavani, the progenitress, to produce living entities. And from the mixture of their vital fluid, the river named Hartaki is generated. When fire being made to blaze by the wind drinks of this river and then sizzles and spits it out, it produces gold called Hartak. The demons who live on the planet with their wives decorate themselves with various ornaments made from that gold, and thus they live very happily.
So here the description of Atala and Vitala are given. In the Atala, we have Bala, the son of Mayadanava. I mentioned he is the architect of demons. He lives there, and they like creating these mystic powers. Hmm? And it is mentioned how he created various women and how and what they do is mentioned there. Yeah. And then in the Vitala, we have Lord Shiva lives with Bhavani, and how the fluid that comes out of the union of them, ultimately becomes gold, is called Hataka. And these ornaments are worn by various demons live there, and along with Lord Shiva, his associates, ghosts and other beings live in this planet known as Vitala. And next we have a very, very wonderful section that is coming. So 18 till 27, please, who would like to read? If no one is there, Purnama, then you can continue.
Yes, Prabhuji. Um, below we are reading text 18, isn't it, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Yeah. Below text 18, below the planet Vittal is another planet known as Sutal, where the great son of Maharaj Virochan, Bali Maharaj, who is celebrated as the most pious king, resides even now. For the welfare of Indra, the king of heaven, Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of a dwarf brahmachari as the son of Aditi and tricked Bali Maharaj by begging for only 3 paces of land, but taking all the 3 worlds. Being very pleased with Bali Maharaj for giving all his possessions, the Lord returned his kingdom and made him richer than the opulent King Indra. Even now, Bali Maharaj engages in devotional service by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the planet of Sutal.
Yeah, just 1 second before you go.
Yeah.
So the planet of Sutala, third one, below the Bhumandala, we have a great devotee of the Lord, a great Vaishnava named Bali Maharaj. We know that how he fully surrendered and offered everything to the Lord. Lord Vamandev pushed him to this planet. This is where our Bali Maharaj is currently living. Is son of Virochana, grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Yes, Mataji, carry on.
Text 19. My dear King, Bali Maharaj donated all his possessions to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vamandev, but one should certainly not conclude that he achieved his great worldly opulence in Bilaswarga as a result of his charitable disposition. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source of life for all living entities, lives within everyone as the friendly supersoul, and under his direction, a living entity enjoys or suffers in the material world. Greatly appreciating the transcendental qualities of the Lord, Bali Maharaj offered everything at his lotus feet. His purpose, however, was not to gain anything material, but to become a pure devotee. For a pure devotee, the door of liberation is automatically opened. One should not think that Bali Maharaj was given so much material opulence merely because of his charity. When one becomes a pure devotee in love, he may be blessed with a good material position by the will of the Supreme Lord. However, one should not mistakenly think that the material opulence of a devotee is the result of his devotional service. The real result of devotional service is the awakening of pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which continues under all circumstances.
Carry on.
Text 20. If one who is embarrassed by hunger or who falls down or stumbles chants the holy name of the Lord even once, willingly or unwillingly, he is immediately freed from the reactions of his past deeds. Karmis, entangled in material activities, face many difficulties in the practice of mystic yoga and other endeavors to achieve that same freedom.
Just one
Text.
second. So please read the purport to text 20. Okay. Fifth canto, 24th chapter, text 20. Prabhupada writes a very beautiful purport to this text 20. How, by chanting the holy name, even namabhas means not a pure name, but even, with offenses. If you chant also, it will nullify everything. Just as, when the sun, about to come in the morning, it is dawn, right? Sun is not visible, but still the light comes. So sun is actually not seen, but the light comes. Similarly, even if one chants, some offenses, some mild, hmm, not loud, but you just namesake you chant for some time. So it will also dissipate all the reactions. So wonderful purport. Please read. Yeah, please carry on, Mataji.
Text 21. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart as the Supersoul, sells himself to his devotees such as Narad Muni. In other words, the Lord gives pure love to such devotees and gives himself to those who love him purely. Great self realized mystic yogis, such as the four Kumaras, also derive great transcendental bliss from realizing the Supersoul within themselves. Text 22. The Supreme Personality of Godhead did not award his mercy to Bali Maharaj by giving him material happiness and opulence, for these make one forget loving service to the Lord. The result of material opulence is that one can no longer absorb his mind in the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
One comment. Prabhupada writes, a neophyte devotee, um, if a neophyte devotee gets become opulent, then that neophyte devotee will forget the Lord. And that's why Lord may not give the neophyte devotee all the opulences. Whereas advanced devotee, even when the opulences come, they don't forget the Lord. Just like Sudama. He went to Lord Krishna and he got so many opulences, so much opulence, big palace, yet he did not forget the Lord. Okay, please carry on.
Text 23. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead could see no other means of taking everything away from Bali Maharaj, he adopted the trick of begging from him and took away all the three worlds. Thus, only his body was left. But the Lord was still not satisfied. He arrested Bali Maharaj, bound him with the ropes of Varun, and threw him in a cave in a mountain. Nevertheless, although all his property was taken and he was thrown into a cave, Bali Maharaj was such a great devotee that he spoke as follows.
The
Text.
bigger you are, the bigger the test. Yeah. So we don't give a PhD test to the, year one or LKG, UKG student. Here you can see Bali Maharaj, he gave everything, yet, he was arrested and put in the caves, it is said. Still, he did not deviate from his devotion. Just like Pandavas, however many difficulties came, they never left the lotus feet of the Lord. Whereas neophytes, when there is some problem, they always question the existence of. Yes, please carry on.
Text 24. Alas, how pitiable is it for Indra, the king of heaven, that although he is very learned and powerful, and although he chose Brahaspati as his prime minister to instruct him, he is completely ignorant concerning spiritual advancement. Brahaspati is also unintelligent because he did not properly instruct his disciple Indra. Lord Vamandev was standing at Indra's door, but King Indra, instead of begging him for an opportunity to render transcendental loving service, engaged him in asking me for alms to gain the three worlds for his son's gratification. Sovereignty over the three worlds is very insignificant because whatever material opulence one may possess lasts only for an age of Manu, which is but a tiny fraction of endless time.
Who is saying this? This is said by, who spoke this? Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj saying that Lord Vamandev was standing at Indra's door. For the sake of Indra, it took okay, Bali Maharaj and other demons, snatched the kingdom from Indra by, lawfully, lawfully. So basically, Aditi, the mother of Indra and demigods, seeing their pitiable condition, having, because they lost their kingdom. So she did a special vow. She followed a special, vow wherein she worshipped Lord Payovrata ceremony. It is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Lord appeared and said that, "Don't worry, I will, get that kingdom back and hand over to your son Indra. Don't worry." So it took. He appeared as Vamandev, and here it is said that that Indra, instead of begging Vamandev for opportunity to render service, he engaged him, for sense gratification, isn't it? He asked the Lord for something material, rather than asking for opportunity to render service. This is the consciousness of Bali Maharaj. So we should ask for opportunity to serve. This is a higher level, very higher level. Carry on, Mataji.
Text 25. Bali Maharaj said, "My grandfather Prahlad Maharaj is the only person who understood his own self-interest. Upon the death of Prahlad's father, Hiranyakashipu, Lord Narasimhadev wanted to offer Prahlad his father's kingdom and even wanted to grant him liberation from material bondage. But Prahlad accepted neither. Liberation and material opulence, he thought, are obstacles to devotional service, and therefore such gifts from the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not his actual mercy. Consequently, instead of accepting the results of karma and gnana, Prahlad Maharaj simply begged the Lord for engagement in the service of his servant." Text
Serving
20.
the servant, serving the servant of the Lord is greater than serving the Lord. Prabhupada, right? So for us, serving Prabhupada is actually more important than actually serving Krishna. Because of Prabhupada, we are able to connect to Krishna. So we are more indebted to Prabhupada than. Please carry on.
Bali Maharaj said, "Persons like us who are still attached to material enjoyment, who are contaminated by the modes of material nature, and who lack the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot follow the supreme path of Prahlad Maharaj, the exalted devotee of the Lord."
Yeah. So here, Bal Maharaj is very humble. He's saying persons like us still attached to material. He is not at all attached. But devotees always they are very humble. You know, however great they are, they think that I am not great. So this is out of humility. He's saying that he's attached to material enjoyment, but he's not at all attached. Next, please.
Text 27. Shukadev Goswami continued, "My dear king, how shall I glorify the character of Bali Maharaj? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of the three worlds, who is most compassionate to his own devotee, stands with club in hand at Bali Maharaj's door. When Ravan, the powerful demon, came to gain victory over Bali Maharaj, Vamandev kicked him a distance of 80,000 miles with his big toe. I shall explain the character and activities of Bali Maharaj later in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam."
Thank you, Mataji. So what did he get in return, Ali Maharaj? So yeah, Vaman Dev became the doorkeeper of this Bali Maharaj's palace, and it is said that it has several gates, and as a gateman, gatekeeper, whenever the king comes, you have to open and close the door gate. So it was said that because he had several gates, so Vamandev doesn't know sometimes which gate is going to come through, which gate is going to come out. So he used to run and open the gate from here, from there, like because and seeing this pitiable condition of her husband Lakshmi Devi pleaded Bali Maharaj that whenever you come out and get in, please use only one gate so that my husband does not need to run here and there. So he became gatekeeper. This is an interesting thing mentioned. Once, of course, our Ravan went to see Balimaraj, uh, in the Sutala Loka. It is said that Vamandev kicked him with big toe. How far the fellow gone? 80,000 miles. So that's how far, you know, he had thrown away Ravan. Okay, so that's about Bali Maharaj, who is currently residing in the Sutala planet, and he will become next Indra. Uh, so current Indra is Purandara, and currently we are in the seventh Manvantara. Seventh mid, almost 28th cycle. So the rest of the time remaining, Bali Maharaj will become next Indra. Okay, so we have a couple of more verses. We can quickly finish. And anyone would like to read? Prema Bhakti from 28 onwards, please.
Okay, I'm just counting. Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
I'm reading from my own laptop, actually. Yes.
Okay.
Text 28. Beneath the planet known as Sutala is another planet called Tala, which is ruled by the Danva demon named Maya. Maya is known as the Acharya master of all the Mayavis, who can invoke the powers of sorcery. For the benefit of the three worlds, Lord Shiva, who is known as Triputara, Tripurati, once set fire to the three kingdoms of Maya, but later, being pleased with him, he returned his kingdom. Since that time, Maya Danva has been protected by Lord Shiva, and therefore he falsely thinks that he needs not fear the Sudarshana Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So beneath the Sutala, we have planet known as Talatala. Here it is mentioned the Mayadanava. You remember, the son of Mayadanava lives in the Atala. So Mayadanava lives here in Talatala, and it is mentioned he is protected by Lord Shiva all the time. And Lord Shiva, Mayadanava created, three great worlds within there. And so, Lord Shiva once set fire, but later, hand over upon being pleased by him. And so Mayadhanava lives there. Next, please.
The planetary system below Tala is known as Mahatala. It is the abode of many hooded snakes, descendants of Kadru, who are always very angry. These great snakes, who are prominent, are
Waka, Tachya, Kaliya, and Sushena.
The snakes in Mahatala are always disturbed by fear of Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu. But although they are full of anxiety, some of them nevertheless sport with their wives, children, friends, and relatives.
Yeah, we can see here many hooded snakes, many hooded snakes or nagas. They live here in this planet Mahatala. Next, please.
Beneath Mahatala is the planetary system known as Rastala, which is the abode of demonic sons of Diti and Danu. They are called Panis,
Nivata Kavachas,
Kavacha, Kalias,
Kalayas, and Iranya
Urania,
Purvasis.
yeah, those living in Hiranyapura. They are all enemies of the demigods, and they reside in holes like snakes. From birth, they are extremely powerful and cruel, and although they are proud of their strength, they are always defeated by the
Darshana Chakra.
Sakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who rules all the planetary systems. When a female messenger from Indra named Sarama chants a particular curse, the
Serpentine demons.
serpentine demons of Mahatala becomes very afraid of Indra.
Yeah, so when there was a fight between Indra and these demons, there is a female messenger. Actually, it is said that it is dog named, it's a female dog, I think, Sarama. This chanted a prayer, and so they got scared with that prayer, like uttered a curse basically, and they went there and they are living in these snake holes in Rasatala. So last one, please.
Right. Text 31, last one. Beneath Rastala is another planetary system known as Patala or Nagaloka, where there are many demonic serpents. The master of Nagaloka, such as Sankaha,
Shanka, Kulika, Mahashanka, Shweta, Dhananjaya, Dhritarashtra, Shankachuda, Kambala, Ashwatara, and Devadatta.
The chief amongst all these is Vasuki. They are all extremely angry and they have many, many hoods. Some snakes have 5 hoods, some have 7, some have 10, others 100, and others 1,000. These hoods are bedecked with valuable gems, and the light emitting from the gems illuminates the entire planetary system of Bilaswaka.
Yeah, it is said, this is where the entire Bilasarga subterranean heavenly planets get illuminated. Okay. So with that, let me quickly just show one slide and you can ask your